Well, greetings, world. Hope you are all healthy, happy. Yeah. How are you, Harry?
Healthy and happy.
You know, it's really weird when I watched the last episode we did, and of course I said, guys, as I look at my screen, Harry is on my left, right? So of course I went, he's back, forgetting that it's a, you know, when we upload it, it's a mirror. So I should have gone, he's back.
Well, when I see you now, you're below me. I'm in a small square, and you're in this huge square.
Oh, really?
Mhm.
Oh, well, it is what it
Different
is.
versions, but yeah, again, we take for granted this health that we have.
Yeah.
Okay. I hadn't been sick in, I'd say, half a decade, and I got sick for 2 straight weeks, not including the surgery, not including the after effects of some of the meds, but I think I got I was contaminated by toxins, and I lost my taste and stuff like that. And it's now just, I mean, I'm fine. If you looked at the last video, I think I looked like a skeleton on that video. I had lost 15 pounds.
Wow.
I'm back up to, I've added 5 pounds back. So,
Wow.
but yeah, it's we take our health for granted. Let's put it that way briefly. Okay.
Yeah, I think we do. All right, guys. Well, look, we're going to get straight into it. We're not going to mess around. We've got a lot to present to you this week. There's a lot been going on, as many of you are aware. But you know, it's weird, Harry, that you know, even with all the research and the study that I've done over the years, I mean, I've got to be pushing close to 30,000 hours. You know, I still find it difficult to grasp the idea that we are living in an illusion.
Well, that's it's like that because of our senses.
Yeah.
Our senses are so dulled.
Yeah.
That when you mention that concept, you say, "Well, I can see that." Well, a falcon can see 1,000 times better than that.
Yeah.
So
Well,
wonder what he see. What does that falcon see?
so we
And then,
told.
yeah, and so what our senses are in comparison to some of the more less capable animals of the world.
Yeah, I agree.
We're in diapers. We're in diapers.
I agree. Right, guys. Before we get into the meat and potatoes, I just want to do this. Run this by you. I've been attacked on a couple of other YouTube channels. One, I believe, left a comment due to the name. And in one particular Telegram group, somebody came and said, change your name, and followed by the C word. Now, for those people who are not aware, I just sent into the channel, by the way. Somebody said, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus. I'm like, oh God. So the Devil's Playground, why? Because that is where we live. When I woke up, I don't like to use that word, but everybody knows what it means. And I realized that everything we've ever been taught is not true. Then I realized that, a good title for my books and my YouTube channel would be The Devil's Playground. So if you go to this website, icheckyoursoul.com, I'll leave the link below, and you can see on the bottom row, The Devil's Playground. Well, if you click on that, it will go black, well, bold, but nothing will change, right? So it's a bit confusing the first time you use it. Nothing changes until you scroll down. And, there's a few bits and bats on here. My 3 books, the 4th book should have been out in March of 2020, but we know why that didn't happen. They're all free. Book 1 is essentially a documentation of my awakening. When it happened, I started writing everything down as they were happening, a bit like a diary, if you like. And then later on, probably about 12 months later, I put it all into a book form. This one's pretty good if you've got friends or family who are kind of on the fence, kind of can see what's going on, but don't quite get it. This is a really, really good publication to give them. Number 2 is essentially a continuation of book 1 and book 3, the Apocalypse. That is, don't give that to somebody who's sleeping. There's also some PPTs on here that you can download. It's all free. There's some really, really good information. So I just wanted to get that out there for those that are not aware.
And just to piggyback on that concept, I am on the final chapter of my book. In this little hiatus, I finally got a chance to get into the last few chapters. I got some illustrations to still do because I illustrate a lot of the stuff on my own. And I'm on the final chapter. And so that book, it's going to be called LIES. It's an acronym for looking into elite strategies. And we kind of break down in the book what's been happening to us. And in the end, we, having kind of identified who is doing this, I share with everyone who they are.
Yeah. Well,
we've talked about this. We already know who they are.
Yeah.
In our podcast. We already know that, but the book is going to be more for kind of an introductory into like what we've been talking.
Well, I know you've been working on that for a long time because you sent me a copy of it 2 years ago.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I'm on the final chapter.
All right. So let's break down the word illusion. Il means sick. Us, you and me. Ion is energy. Il, us, ion. Sick energy for us. Now, we are in 2022. Now, anybody who's familiar with the tarot will know that the 22nd card is the Fool, but they moved it. They changed it to 0. So it's now considered to be either the 0 or the 22nd. We are in the year of the Fool. Now, there was a great...
So we have to make sure that in this year, you don't fall victim to deception.
More so than ever this year. More so than ever. Yeah. And we're going to show you why, guys, in this presentation. So
one key thing is these elites are going to try to take credit for shrinking or shortening the time frame of the lockstep.
Yes. Yeah. All right. So Simon and Garfunkel, I forget the year, Sound of Silence. Everybody will remember, or should remember these lyrics. And the vision that was planted in my brain still remains. So when you look at this word, guys, what image springs to mind? Just think about it. I'll give you 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Could it be something like this? Maybe it's something like this, or maybe it's something like this. The origin of genetic evil. Really? The Nephilim. Nephs. Well, we've all heard, we all know the passage from the Bible. There were giants in the earth in those days. There it is, Genesis 6, verse 4. There were giants in the earth in those days and also after that. Okay. But if we go to the Interlinear, which is here, look, click on Interlinear, we go to Genesis 6:4. The Nephilim were on the earth in those days. Where does it say giants? Well, it doesn't. But if we click on the number above the word, okay, 5303, it's right there, 5303. Look, giants, but giants are in inverted commas, parentheses. The name of 2 peoples, one before the flood and one after the flood. Okay, so Nephilim. We know that in Genesis 1:27, God created man in his own image. In the image of God created him, male and female. Remember, male and female, androgynous. Okay, Genesis 1:27. Now, if we go to Genesis 1:2, we've done this, we've talked about this before, and the earth was without form. We click on the button there called Interlinear, and it takes us to the original Hebrew. and the earth was formless and void. Well, let's click on the number above the word was and see what it really means. It means to fall out, to come to pass, become, or be. Okay, it wasn't created without form, it came to pass that it was without form. Okay, the only other place in the Bible we will see this is in Jeremiah 4, verse 23. I beheld the earth, it was, look, it's in italics, so that's been added by the translators, without form, comma, and void, and the heavens have no light. I beheld there was no man. Well, of course there was no man, because man hadn't been created yet. He wasn't created until Genesis 1:27. But if there was no man, who was Jeremiah? It's a logical question. All the cities were broken down at the presence of the Lord, but there's no man. Man wasn't created yet. So who was Jeremiah? Who built the cities? 27. For thus hath the Lord said, the whole land shall be desolate, yet will I not make a full end. In other words, I won't destroy all of it. For this the earth shall mourn, the heavens above be black, because I have spoken it, I have purposed it, I will not repent, neither will I turn back from it. This is the Lord, this is the God of the Old Testament, talking about destroying part of the realm. Nephilim, nephew. When you were a child, did you call your parents' friends uncle or auntie? I know I did. I know Harry did. I know many, many friends around my age did. And they still do here in China. Nephews of God. This is from the Illuminati playing card. All right. So I looked up nephew in the Etymology dictionary. And it says, son of one sister or brother, which we know, a relative, a kinsman, a male descendant other than son. Now, Harry, you pointed something out here, didn't you?
What section?
About the illegitimate child of
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
here we go.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Illegitimate child of a Catholic priest.
Yeah, the illegitimate son of an ecclesiastic. Okay, so that's nephew. So just for fun, I decided to look up nefarious. And here's where we get a huge oxymoron, because it says wicked in the extreme. Okay. But the important thing is the nefarious, nephew, Nephilim, which means not. Okay. Ne means not. But the word farious comes from Latin and means in two parts or places. Farious, in two parts or places. So nefarious, not in two parts or places, but means wicked in the extreme. That's an oxymoron.
And isn't it funny that in the original definition that you gave us in the Old Testament, in the Interlinear, exactly, was that the Nephilim were in two places.
Yeah. Yeah.
Before and after the flood.
It's like flood. Absolutely.
So what's being done here? What's being done here?
Yeah. So what about Philia, Nephilim, Nephilia? We changed the M to an A. Well, Harry, you and I did a whole podcast on the different kinds of Greek words for love. Philia, storge, agape, eros, and all the others. But Philia is usually translated as friendship or affection.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. There were giants in the earth in those days. Nephilia, without love, no love. No, we know means no. Does it mean no love? No friendship? I don't think that's real. That one looks more realistic, but the dude on the left's doing the hidden hand, so who knows? And this is a classic example of Genesis 1:27. Not Nephilim. Not Nephilim. We'll tell you who the Nephilim were. Of course, we have the serpent again in this symbol. Remember this: black hole sun, Soundgarden. Yeah, just the chorus. Black hole sun, won't you come wash away the rain? Black hole sun, won't you come, won't you come? What is the black hole sun? Well, there is a theory that everything we see up above us is a projection. Okay, can't be proved, but it's a projection, which means, as we talked about last time, Harry, Polaris being the all-seeing eye, everything revolving around it. Does the world revolve around you?
Well, I mean, we've heard a lot of people talk about the center Earth, the hollow Earth.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of ancient cultures that talk about the North Pole being the hole where everything comes out of.
Yeah.
One such culture was which one was it? I can't recall it right now. But they're like an Aboriginal culture, and their writings state that hell is actually in Earth.
Yeah.
Or on Earth.
Well,
and it's their symbols are like an upside down eye, right? There's a shaft and a dot.
Yeah, I've heard that the North Pole, you can't find it on maps anymore. I mean, I've not looked, but I've heard that it's not on maps anymore, which is interesting. Yeah. Greenland is, but not the North Pole.
So it would make sense that if there's a projection being made, it may be coming right out of the center of the North Pole, projecting right up to the sky, and then there you have that Polaris center that all the stars go counterclockwise,
projecting onto the firmament. Yeah, quite possibly. So this is from 2010. I'll let you guys read it, but the last 3 words in the heading are the most important for what we're going through right now. Okay, so we talk about this a lot. Be fruitful, multiply, replenish the earth, subdue it, have dominion over it. We know that the Genesis 1:27, we're told to go out and replenish it. Well, who are they going to replenish it with? They're going to replenish it with the remaining Jeremiahs, what we call the Tartarians, the Nephilim. The Nephilim, they get this bad, horrible, terrible name. When the copy happened around 400 years ago, and 70% of the people and everything was wiped out, whoever was left are going to be who the Genesis 1:27 creation mated with. Remember, the sons of God came into the daughters of men. You're not gonna have a baby with, I mean, this guy on the right's not gonna mate with that if that guy on the left was a woman, and likewise, that guy's not gonna, you know what I mean? It just isn't gonna happen. But
no, physically it's impossible. Physiologically, again, it wouldn't be impossible in today's technology where they're doing, the surrogates and the in vitro and all that stuff. But that's not. I don't think you're right. That's not what they meant. They were talking about these people were not giants in the sense of size, but maybe they were in accomplishment and integrity.
Well, because they were copied over from the original realm. They were the remnants of the copy. So of course they had higher knowledge, they had higher skills. They could probably communicate with telepathy and so on and so forth. Yeah. So what you're looking at on the screen right now is a product of Genesis 1:27 and the Jeremiahs. I don't want to call them Nephilim because it carries such a negative connotation to it.
Yeah.
So, okay. God bless them. Be fruitful and multiply. Replenish the earth. Fill it up again. And this is what they've been doing to us ever since. Remember this song by a group called Imagination? I mean, you can't make it up, guys. Imagination. It was called Just an Illusion. And here's the lyrics. look down at the bottom, verse 2. Follow your emotions everywhere. Is it really magic in the air? Never let your feelings get you down. Open up your eyes and look around. It's just an illusion. They've been telling us for decades.
And if you break down that word, if you want to go back one, imagination, I'm a jinn energy.
Yeah, and you've got the ION again on the end. The energy. Yeah. So I mentioned this guy in last week's podcast, guys.
Great channel.
Absolutely great channel. And you can see here, look, I mean, just a screenshot, 17 minutes, 14 minutes, 14 minutes, 18 minutes, 16 minutes. They're all pretty short videos. He's got a lot that are shorter than that as well. But he talks about who built the moon. Now, this is a book by Chris Knight, Alan Butler. There are what we would call ancient texts. We know they're not. They come from they were copied over from the original realm because everything was copied. And it seems that the original realm didn't have a moon. There was no moon. It was kind of daylight 24 hours a day. So I'm hypothesizing. So if the original realm has no moon, the sun was the light bringer, Lucifer, which just means, what does it mean in Greek, Harry?
What does what mean?
Lucifer.
Well, it's not a Greek word, but it means, if you take the word and try to figure out what they're transliterating, it means phosphorus.
Yeah, phosphorus. Well, what is Lu? Lu is light, and cipher is code, right? If we spell it
Well,
with
Lus, L-U-S is the light.
Yeah, or L-U-C.
Yeah.
L-U-C, bro. Luke. Jean-Luc. Remember Jean-Luc Picard? We were talking about Star Trek earlier.
Yeah, and we talk about Luke from Star Wars.
Yeah.
Luke was the white, and Darth Vader means the dark.
Yeah.
And it's the white versus the black. So again, that opposing force. So, but lus means light in Latin, and then cipher is that code for sure.
Well,
yeah. So I think they're sharing. The C is being shared for both words.
Yeah, you change the F to a PH, you get cipher, which is code. Right now, people are going to say, "Oh God, you guys are Luciferians." No, we're not. Forget what you've been taught. It's all rubbish. So
it's all reversed. It's all reversed.
Too. Yeah. So the original realm has got no moon. The sun, which is known as the light bringer, would have been the boss. Let's just call him the owner, if you like, the owner of the company. But in this realm, we know that the boss is Polaris, the all-seeing eye. During daytime, we can't see Polaris or the stars, but they can, quote unquote, see us. Just because we look up and can't see Polaris doesn't mean that Polaris couldn't, quote unquote, see us. So the sun is now the manager rather than the CEO. This relates to Lucifer has fallen. I'm just postulating here, guys. Let me know in the comments. So the firmament.
He got demoted. He fell.
Yeah.
He fell from heaven, right?
Yeah. But what does he say? I want to be like the Most High. What's the Most High? Polaris. Now, Lucifer has fallen. He's come down. Yeah. Come down. Just hypothesizing. Now, just for fun and just to show you how nonsensical this whole thing is, you can read this for yourself, right? But this dude, age 51, finally agreed to take this, and now he's okay. But if you look down here, look at this name, and I thought, okay, he's Hungarian, but this name just jumped out at me, and I thought, this is bullshit. So I put it into an anagram solver online, and it came out as Coryzal illness. Okay, you can do this. You can check this for yourselves, guys. So I put it into a medical dictionary, and that's what it is. That's what it is. Talk about mockery. Okay, and just a bit more.
So that guy was an Olympic champion.
Yeah.
And he's 2 years younger than me. And he caught the dreaded thing.
Yeah.
And died.
Yeah, after he took the thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and I thought this tickled me. I was looking at, it's funny, Adam has got a channel called The Illusion, or just Illusion, right? And he did an awesome breakdown on Kobe. And one thing that he mentioned, it just tickled me, that we're all familiar with Revelation 13:18, which talks about the number of the beast being 600, 3 score and 666. Well, if you take the number 13:18 and you add 666 to it, look what you get.
Oh yes, that book that explains all the things
Yeah.
that are happening.
Yeah. Thanks, George. Again, you can't make this up. And I had to show you this. This was from Mag Bit of Truth the other day. They got this new scariant now, which is harder to detect. Yet it's more of this, but less of this. You know, mockery.
Sure.
Now,
Yeah, I don't have anything, but the test says I do, and I'm fine.
yeah. Now, back in June last year, guys, Harry and I put up this awesome video. The what do you call it? The thumbnail is Orphan Trains. We are 200 years old tops. Now, why am I showing you this? Because yesterday this came up. The Great Reset 200 years ago, Men with Black Hats. You have got to watch it. It correlates, Harry, totally with what we were talking about back in June last year. And this is from the 23rd of January, right? It's almost like I don't mean this literally, but it's almost like whoever made this video watched ours and then did his own research and made his own. That is how close the correlations are. I'm not saying that that's what he did, but you got to watch it.
Well, if he perceives the same things that we did, he just may have been on the same track.
Yeah, I'm not saying he watched that video. What I'm saying is he's totally on the same track as we were with this one. So again, guys, I can't get this. I can't pump this enough. I mean, 128, 8 + 2 + 1 is 11. This is when the war started. What we are in now started here. And if people think it's 2,000 years ago, then I'm sorry. It's 400 years ago, maybe even 300 years ago. It ain't that long ago.
Sometime probably after the Industrial Revolution.
Yeah.
And after the War of Independence for the United States, for the colonies.
You've only got to do some research into the so-called World's Fairs back from the 1800s and see what they were doing and how everything was destroyed at the end of these fairs. That they say, oh, it took 6 months to build this. And there was one guy who was doing some research into this. He's kind of waking up, but his curiosity, let's say that his curiosity was piqued when he was looking at one of these World's Fairs, and he knew someone who was in the construction industry. And he went to see this guy and he showed him photographs of this particular World's Fair. And he said, just give me a ballpark, how long it would take you to build this, that apparently was built in 18 months or 2 years or something. And the answer was, Harry, he said, and I quote, if you gave me 100,000 workers, I could probably knock it up in about 15 years.
See, there you go. It would be way too expensive to build.
Yeah.
And it would take way too long for a fair that was going to be there in a month and gone.
Yeah, which is why the copy and paste idea makes so much sense. The war started here, guys. And this came up yesterday. I'm going to leave a link for this below. I was so excited when I saw it. I flicked it over to you, Harry.
Yeah. Again, same thing. It's got such a thread to it that mimics a lot of the information that we've already shared.
Yeah.
And stuff that we haven't really touched on because it's not pertinent, but
yeah,
this guy makes his points and backs them up. So
absolutely, with the two biblical creations. I'm not sure if he touches on the Jeremiahs, the Tartarians, but everything else that he talks about, it just bang on with what you and I talk about, Harry. So I'll try and remember to leave a link to these either below or in the pinned comment. Now, very briefly, before we wrap this up, mockery. I mean, if this isn't just taking the piss, I don't know what is. If you go over to, most people here will be aware of Zach geometry effect. If you go over to Free to Find Truth, you'll find this particular story. Yeah, I'm not going to read it out because we because of where we are. But it's funny that this is one of the Illuminati playing cards, as is this. Looks a lot like Mr.
Who does that look like?
Oh yeah, who's that look like? But everybody's excited about what's going on, and I really, really hope that that we all get the result that we all hope for. But we do have to be logical. We do have to be realistic, guys. So just something to bear in mind, that the whole thing could be an FF, PSYOP, whatever you want to call it, because it's now happening in Australia, it's happening in Europe, it's happening in Brazil, it's happening in many, many countries. So just be aware. I'm not throwing a damp squib on it. I really don't want to send it negative energy. All I'm saying is just, there's two sides to every coin, guys. So just, just be careful. And of course, he reckons he's going to come back. Well, it's very interesting that he was 45, then he will be 47, which very, very conveniently gives us these two numbers. So again, I'm just pointing this stuff out, guys. I'm not saying anything positive or negative. I'm just literally trying to make people aware of it.
Well, if this Messiah comes back, it wouldn't be 2,000 years.
Well,
it would only be a few too.
Yeah. And shout out to Barry in our Telegram group, guys. If you want to join the Telegram group, I'll put the link below. We have got some awesome minds in our Telegram group. We're just coming up to 100 members. It's not huge, but very, very welcome to come over there and see what we want to talk about. Pretty much anything goes. So thanks to Barry, everything in life is an illusion. Nothing is good or bad. Things are only what you make it or make them.
Love that share, Barry. Love that share.
Absolutely. Thanks for that, Baz. So yeah, I mean, everything is about perception. I mean, before we started recording, Harry, we were talking about the Star Wars and Star Trek. How many people do you know that like both? None. You're either a Trekkie or you're a Star Wars. Yeah. Everything's about perception. And we talked about this at length. I can't remember if we did it on a podcast or when we were not recording. But again, guys, and I don't want to be disrespectful. Please don't take this the wrong way. But guys, how many friends, family members have you got that have got a partner and you look at her and you think, And girls, how many of you beautiful girls out there know someone who's got a partner who's, short, fat, and ugly? But they're quite happy. But you look at their other half and think, that's kind of not for me. And again, I don't want to be disrespectful. I'm just trying to make the point that everything is about perception. All of it, everything is about how we see it. Right.
Well, even more so, and not even so much a lot in relationships, but in business.
Oh yeah.
You see a lot of business operators pretending to be something that they're not. The main thing is, are you a clean and healthy food establishment? Everything is made to look like they're green, they're clean, they're antibiotic free, all that stuff that people want. They want no GMO. But in the back, when you look at what they're really doing that no one can see, everything is prepackaged. Everything is microwaved. Everything is in plastic. And it's not what the customer sees, but it's what they don't see. they play off of that strength and weakness. And this is what we talk about all the time.
Well,
It's perception
yeah.
versus reality.
Yeah, a classic example would be if you went to McDonald's, not that you should, but
Never.
if you went to McDonald's and got a burger and opened that burger right there and compared it to the picture that's, you know, above the cashier's head, what? They're nothing. They don't even bear any resemblance to each other, you know?
But if you were to take that same burger that you bought today and compare it to that burger in 1 year left in your back seat, they're going to look the same.
Oh, yeah. 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 All right. Anything you want to finish with, bro?
Well, again, we talk about, you know, what you see, what I see, what I hear, what you hear, our emotional connection to other people. It is all dependent on your abilities. Let's say maybe your senses are more acute, maybe they're dulled.
I think a classic example of that, which is not hidden in plain sight, but is in plain sight. Harry, would you like a glass of wine? Yes, please, Nigel. Red or white? Which do you prefer? Oh, I prefer red wine. I don't like white wine. Oh, I prefer white wine. I don't like red wine. We're both drinking wine, red, white. Yeah, it's all about your own perception. It's all about your own taste. It's all about what you like, not what anybody else likes. You know, I was talking to Logan again the other day, and one thing that he talks about, very, very powerful. He does a few podcasts with Jordan from Waters Above Crypto, and Jordan came out with the most amazing explanation for the true meaning of the word love. Do you know what it was, Harry?
I didn't see that show, so no.
Allow. I mean, how powerful is that? You know, if that's what you like doing, none of my business. So allow us.
And if I love you, then why would I care? You know,
Yeah,
just go ahead and do it. Yeah, take care of yourself.
Yeah,
that's a great.
Which yeah, absolutely awesome. Oh, and another thing, next time we do a podcast, I'm just gonna mention this now, guys. I don't know any details. If you want details, then email us. Email me or Harry. Our email address is below. But Santos from the Syncretism Society is now assisting people to move to Mexico. So if any of you guys out there feel that you want to get out, let us know and I'll hook you up. I mean, I don't know the fees, I don't know the cost, I don't know anything. All I know is that Santos and Logan are now letting their subscribers know that Santos and the Syncretism Society has the ability. Let's put it that way. They have the ability. If you want to get out of wherever you are, then they'll get you into Mexico. So I thought that was worth mentioning.
Definitely.
You know what I mean? Just in case anybody might be nothing in it for us. We're just, you know, it's just a service that that they are now offering. Let's put it that way. So
well, one last thing, you know, just before we're done, is a reminder. This is year 2022, as they tell us. And we gotta not play the fool.
Don't let them.
We have to have both eyes open, maybe that third one too, if possible, if you can decalcify it. But do not fall. Look, a lot of the restrictions seem to be going away. I'm gonna, in the next couple of weeks, I'm gonna challenge a mask mandate for my kids' school. Still make them wear masks in the classroom. I'm gonna do, finally got all the paperwork ready. I'm gonna do a challenge, see if we can get that done. But at the same time, if they're removing a lot of these mandates, they want to give themselves credit for what they've done.
Oh yeah.
And in reality, it's because we've stood up and said no.
Yeah.
But they want us to play the fool and accept the notion that these lizard, these serpents,
Yehoodans,
these
Genesis 1:27.
non-humans,
Yeah.
these non-humans, they want to take the credit for it. And so we cannot be fooled. And one of those words, like you were using for nephew and Nephilim, is Neptune.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Neptune.
Yeah.
All right. So Neptune is they want to use us and make us tune us into thinking that they are the savior. So don't let that happen.
Neptune was also Poseidon, right?
Yes.
The god of the sea. Oh, I've just thought, isn't it interesting that Pan comes into that as well, playing a tune?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
yeah,
Paul,
like leading the rats out of town, out of the city.
Yeah. Well, Paul over at What the Flock TV, he's the main man with Janus and Pan and all that kind of stuff. So if you're not subbed to his channel, guys, you really should be. I'll put a link. I'll put a link to his channel below.
Yeah. So we just got to remember, don't fall for it.
Absolutely.
That's it.
Absolutely. All right, guys. Thanks for being here. Comment below, please. We always love to read your comments. And we will see you on the next one. Take care.
Yeah, and leave the comments even if we don't agree.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. All right. Take care, guys. Bye.
Bye.